Today, we're gonna do what nobody has dared to do before. We're gonna take a brand new Toyota Supra and modify it to tow a trailer. It doesn't sound that bad until you realize this glorified BMW is 90% plastic, and there's nowhere to mount a hitch. So it's time to do what we do best, bust out the welder and the grinder, start cutting.
All right, you guys know me. I like to do whatever's fun. That might be a little bit of an ADHD being like, hey, marshmallow brains. Anyways, it leads us to this. This is a drag and drive trailer. As you guys know, I love to do drag and drive events just because, you know, they're super fun, but you kind of need a trailer with you because a lot of stuff doesn't fit in the car, especially if you have a small BMW. I mean, Toyota Supra specifically. So we fitted a trailer hitch on a Toyota Supra. The only issue is we actually modified a parachute mount to make this thing, so the hitch actually sits 24 inches off the ground. This, clearly not 24 inches off the ground. This one's more like 11 and a half inches. So we've got to somehow make this receiver be this tall. So essentially what we did is we took the tongue off this thing and we cut it up and we put it here. And that way we can weld to this because this is steel, so I bolted that in place. You can't weld steel to aluminum, and I don't really want to use aluminum. This is inch and 5/8. I'm gonna put a bend in it here, and it should be where this line is in the trailer right here. The tongue has to be like an inch above that. So we're gonna bend this at a 90. Right here, it's gonna go along flat there. And then we're gonna build another pipe that goes down from this bracket right here up to that pipe to triangulate it. And that's just essentially what's going to tow the trailer instead of this aluminum piece. We'll cut this one off after. So time to bend some stuff. This might be the first time I've used this inch and 5/8 die ever. I bought it originally so I could do roll cages and stuff, and then I've never actually done one. So this is our 1-inch die. This is our inch and 5/8 die. The center line radius, big. Now we've got to add a middle bar. Like that. There you go, first part of the structure done. I'm gonna make another piece that bolts to right here on these frames. It comes across the back and then it ties into the top of this bar too, just to give it a little bit of extra like rigidity this way. Like if I add a bar right here and I just notch that perfectly to fit around our piece of pipe right here, it's just gonna slide down. I can bolt it into both sides of the frame here, and then I can weld this piece onto the pipe. It's gonna be perfect, I think. And now this piece is actually going to fit right here. And I put some pilot holes in here so we can drill it on the rig, and now I can actually tack weld this in place. How some of the welding came out. Ew.
Ew.
We've got most of the structure welded up here. This is like the main portion of it. There is going to be a bar in the middle here somewhere that we can mount the skinnies onto, and then there's gonna be another bar up on the back of the trailer that we might connect into this piece that's gonna hold the slicks. I did weld this piece of 2-inch on the end, this square piece. So this piece is gonna go on here. We're gonna cut the tube off on the end here. And that just gives us a nice square portion to bolt this thing on. It's gonna bolt through the square piece and the round piece, so I'm not too worried about it, but the square piece is gonna be nice for this piece trying to roll on the tube. Put it in the bandsaw. All right, I think we replicated it pretty well to the point that this is higher than that. All we did was take basically the receiver piece up here and move it up like 12 inches. So now we can cut off this main support right there, the aluminum one, and then we'll just have the piece that we need. Definitely not putting this in the back of a Hellcat.
Just kidding, it's a daily driver.
Now we just got to take our cut pieces, clean them up, maybe put them on the lathe a little bit to get the circles perfect, and then get ready to put it on the trailer. Also, really digging this new camera. We got the new lens on it, the 10-20, and it just, the stabilization's a lot better than the old camera. The picture looks a lot better. My face looks a lot better. Everything's just better. This is my idea coming into place. We've got these small plates here. These are gonna get bolted to the body like this. This piece is gonna get welded onto that piece. And then a bar is gonna be able to go through this piece right here, all the way through the piece on this side, so that bar is one long piece. And it's gonna stick out an extra 8 inches on each side. And then these pieces are gonna get welded on the outside. Crikey, mate, that's gonna work perfect. It's only tack welded in place right now and only 2 of the bolt holes, so we'll have to finish off the bolt holes and finish welding it. But before that, we've got to move down to this section down here, have a spot marked out right around here in this area. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount a second set of these plates on the bottom here, and this will be for the skinnies or the road race tires. So we're gonna do our best to keep it inside the bounds of the trailer here, and then that way you can mount the front road race tires plus the rear slicks on the back if you want to. And obviously you have to start with something I've never done before, and that's drilling a hole through a piece of pipe. I guess it's like drilling a straight hole, isn't it? It's just on a bigger scale. Anyways, I want my pipe to go through a pipe, so I want to drill a straight hole through this pipe. I've got to coat this pipe at 2 angles now. This one, 90 degrees, so that's easy, but this one's gonna be like a 30-degree angle. And we all know how really good I am at that. I always get the drill almost in the face. See that? So close. I'll be damned, we made something that fit. And now, a piece of 1 inch. Just pretend like this piece isn't that long. I have to clean that up, but it should go through this hole. This might be sketchy, but what we're gonna try and do is use this hole as a guide and just cut the top of that hole. So I think I did it. So the problem was this little tiny, there's a little tiny piece of metal on the bottom here that I made my circle just a little bit high, and it looked like we can clear it out with that drill. Look at that. Another tire mount. Originally, we were going to put the wider tires on the front if need be, if you wanted to do like a road course or something like that. So the tires are much wider than these drag skinnies. However, if you put the tire out far enough, the wider you go out here, the closer the bumper becomes an issue when turning. So if you start turning the car, the bumper is going to hit at somewhat that angle. But the further you move the tire in, the further the angle you need to hit the tire. So we made the decision that we're gonna cut this bar down, move the skinnies in as far as we can, and get enough steering clearance for pulling the trailer. And then road race, you just have to figure something out, CJ. This is a drag racing trailer. I quickly made a leg here without telling anybody. I just kind of did it, and I did it pretty decent. I cut these out on the arc droid when we cut out our plates for our wheels, and that's exactly what they're for. This bar can just kind of swing down, and then it goes in this hole, and then it's like a vertical leg. Not that I know what it's like to have a vertical leg, but sometimes I wish, and sometimes I imagine it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece of like 2-inch metal, and that gets welded onto the middle of that. And then this piece here, the 2-inch fits inside that piece. So that can slide over top of the metal that I weld on. And then this slides perfectly in there. So hopefully like that'll be mounted permanently with like glue or something onto that piece of metal that's welded onto there. And then the plastic is what you use to center your wheel so you don't scratch anything up. This piece should just slip on here. I mean, it works as expected, except for when the trailer falls down. Finally got my own plasma cutter back, so now we can use my own arc droid, and we can build a little thing for the bottom of the little kickstand piece. Oh yeah. World's first, baby.
World's first nicely, because there has been stupid ones done.